Continue working on the scene you last saved. You can also use the scene named CP02 roadmarks.max provided to you. Orbit and zoom in on the bridge and take a look at it. There are many aspects you need to work on. For example, the bridge surface is presently paper thin. There are no wall or fence protections on the side. It is void of any of the usual urban components such as lampposts, signs, or even cars. Even though the roads themselves are textured, there are no road marks such as lane dividers and the likes. These are all issues you need to solve, and you start with the last one first. To create road marks in Civil View, you need to reference spline first. Fortunately, you already have one, courtesy of the centerline alignment you imported from Civil 3D. Go ahead and select it. It should be the first item in the 3ds Max Explorer, and runs along the bridge design from beginning to end. Also, make sure that Civil View Explorer is docked to the left. From the Civil View menu, choose Civil View Road Marking Style Editor. You are presented with a dialog that will make road marking creation extremely easy. Start by adding a new element to the list. An element represents one road marking, such as a solid line or an intermittent line. As mentioned a second ago, an element has to be associated with a spline. Use the Pick Shape Label button and then select the centerline alignment in the viewport. At this point, you can click the Apply button to see the end results. A solid white line displays running along the centerline of the bridge. Parameters are set in the Edit Style Element panel, where you can also preview the road mark. For example, you can make that line yellow and click Apply again and see the results update in the viewport. To make this a double line with a gap in its center, set the width to 0.6 meters and the center gap to 0.2 meters. Again, apply to see the results. This works for opposing traffic dividers. Say you need another line to separate the inner shoulder from the traffic lane. If you want to add another element based on the same spline, then it is imperative to click the M button in the top right corner. M stands for multiple and allows multiple road markings to be created using the same base shape. Click Add New Element again and set its base shape to be the same centerline alignment as before. Also set its width to be a bit narrower, 0.12 to 0.15 meters would do. Clicking Apply at this point still sets the road mark along the centerline. When you were working in Civil 3D, you defined this inner shoulder to be 0.9 meters wide. Accordingly, set the road marking's horizontal offset to 0.9 meters and click Apply again. This looks better. To apply the same element type to the other side, simply highlight the element, copy it, and then paste it. Switch one of the duplicates to a negative horizontal offset value and apply the changes again. Note that you can rearrange the position of an element in the dialog by moving it up or down. To create intermittent lines, you start by creating a new element or duplicating and editing an existing one. That's what I will do in this case, and moving the duplicate to the bottom of the list. The horizontal offset for it should be 4.5 meters. That's the distance calculated from the center line, which is equal to the width of the shoulder, 0.9 meters, plus the width of the lane, 3.6 meters. To make the line intermittent, you specify a mark length and a gap length. Make them 3 meters and 5 meters respectively. They may look funny in the viewport, but they will look fine at render time. Take a few moments to add more road markings to separate the lanes from outer shoulders. Once you have created a style that you like, and that you feel you can reuse, then you can save it to your resource kit. For that, you click the Save Style button, and you are then presented with a dialog box. Here you can decide to which resource kit you want to save your style. Choose the private resource kit you created earlier. Give your file a name, such as myroadmarks.rms, and save it to disk. You can click OK to dismiss the road marking style dialog at this point. The beauty of creating personal styles is that you can reuse them in other projects and other situations. In fact, even though Civil View is largely recognized as a Civil 3D companion, you can still use it with 3ds Max components. This is to say that you can have regular 3ds Max objects, such as a plane object for the surface, and a simple arc for a path. You can then call up the road marking style editor and load the style you created. You'd need to ensure multiple mode is enabled and that the shape you reference is now the arc you just defined. Click Apply to create the same road marks you defined a moment ago. Exit the road marking style editor. Since you've made changes to the reference shape, you are asked if you want to save those changes. Answer no for now. In fact, select and erase all these additional components as you won't need them moving forward. If you zoom in and orbit around the middle of the bridge, you will notice that some road marks appear too high. This is mostly true of the outer marks, and this happens because of the slope you defined when you created the assembly in Civil 3D. When you created the assembly, you took into account a gentle slope for drainage as you moved from the inside out. In the 3ds Max Scene Explorer, note that all of the road markings you have created are listed as part of a hierarchy. They are children of the parent shape, the centerline alignment. This means you can select the individual road mark elements and use a relative z displacement to bring them closer to the surface. Use small increments, such as minus 0.05 meter displacement, or even maybe smaller. Don't overdo it though, as it may bring sections of road marks under the surface. Try a test render and make the necessary adjustments. This is looking good. In the next movie, you continue adjusting the scene by adding guardrails.